Welcome to Sacred Spaces Advanced School of Ancestral Communication. I am Queen Carlenia Springer, just coming by for 10 minutes. I'm so honored to be able to bring you family, my Afro Wakanu and Afro Kaiknut African Black family, regardless of where we are in this world. We are connected, we are related, we are the mothers and fathers of humanity. And so I am just honored to be able to come and share with you a little bit of the wisdom of our ancestors and ancestresses and restore knowledge of our identity, our cultural identity, our spiritual identity. We find our roots in Mother and Father God. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about Carmelo Anthony, and I asked you all to trouble the waters. We have to protect our children. We have to be able to leave them something of substance. This is Sacred Spaces Advanced School of Ancestral Communication. Listen, if we are not able to listen to ourselves, to hear the different voices within ourselves, how can we hear each other? If we can't hear each other, if we can't hear ourselves, we certainly aren't hearing Mother and Father God. Trying to bring unity to our community while we are under severe attack. Um, what are we leaving to our children? We have to return to our roots, and so this is just my contribution to our community. So today I actually was guided to pick up my book Soul Marked for Life and to read an excerpt, and I just opened my book and I said, so I'm just going to read from where I opened. And it says, their presence embodied their presence was the embodied order. Their presence engendered a pride in me I had never felt before. Their presence reminded me of a time before time, a place where I once stood but was now very vague in my memory. I watched as this royalty interfaced with a few of our classmates. This was the world in which we lived, a world none of the people I knew was even aware existed. How was this possible? This interaction was so natural, so healing, so empowering. Without realizing it at the time, my ancestors and ancestresses had come for me and were giving me glimpses of them long before I understood or remembered who they were and how we were connected. The premonition I had been given, the dream where I saw the path and didn't know where it was leading me right home to them. I was being shown in real time what it looked like when someone was overshadowed by a wayward spirit, an illegal possession. And I was being shown in real time what a legal possession, an authorized possession, looked like. My experience with my sister, where I recognized she genuinely cared and I said I had been deceived, was an example of this. Being overshadowed clouded my sight. I really believed and had evidence in my mind that she truly didn't care about me. I was also being shown what it took to come forward out of that overshadowing, as well as call a person forward who was being overshadowed. In a moment of genuine connection, I dropped my defenses. I unknowingly dropped my unconscious connection to the wayward spirits who had me seeing through their eyes of disconnection. It was deception. I was able to come forward and connect in real time with my sister. I had to first recognize being overshadowed in myself in order to be able to see and discern this phenomenon in others. My feelings of depression, anxiety, sadness, anger, rage, bitterness, loneliness, and more were the places where these entities had taken up residence, rendering me temporarily helpless in my own mind. Deception. I thought these were my thoughts and feelings. It wasn't until I began listening to what they were really saying that they dissipated and lost their hold over me. In their place, a door opened, and I could hear the voice of wisdom speak. I began seeing the different ways these wayward spirits would rile up my emotions. They would use subtle means of creating disruptions in my relationships. And then when I unknowingly reacted to the disruption, which in real time was reacting to the person I was talking to based on what I thought I heard, these entities would back up, leaving me to deal with the confusion they instigated. What I heard was correct, yet I hadn't developed the sensitivity to discern who was actually speaking, the individual I was talking to, or a disordered spirit who slipped in undetected by me in the conversation, as in the situation where I shattered the mirror with glass. What I was learning in the ancestral jurisdiction gave me deeper insight, an explanation, and a frame of reference for many experiences I couldn't explain or make sense of. My eyes were being opened in real time to the way these spirits sought to disrupt our harmonious, natural form of communication among each other. I could see how they blocked our awareness of our communication with the spirit forces in creation, rendering us helpless at times when we were or are literally surrounded by the answers we sought. By becoming aware of what I was thinking through reviewing my thoughts, intentions, and actions within the framework of our cultural standards, I began discerning my own thoughts and feelings from those which sought to disrupt. I learned in real time through setting up an altar in my home and developing a relationship with my own soul to recognize and act on the divine guidance I was receiving. The alignment, this alignment began to naturally repel the disordered spirits and their conversations of isolation, depression, anger, anxiety, and more. Removal and revelation. I was faithful in doing this work of learning to be aligned with divine order. I thought at minimum it would lead to a job and money and what I would consider to be stabilization. I had money, but I was also keenly aware that if I was just spending and not replenishing it, soon it would not be there. I wasn't just looking for a job during this time. I had my coaching and consulting company, Destiny Embraced. I partnered with other entrepreneurs to host empowerment sessions, and together we created spaces for local business owners to vend at these events. I also hosted many group coaching sessions, both in person and online. I hosted a VIP day at a hotel in National Harbor for entrepreneurs to gain clarity in their business and lead with specific actions to increase their promotions, clientele, and sales production. I enrolled entrepreneurs in my own programs. I co hosted a podcast for 6 months and invested in advanced training for my business. I worked on a high ticket sales team for a professional coach, promoting and selling her 1 year training program. I would send out daily messages of encouragement to the individuals on my list. I recall even asking them the question, if time, money, or health were not a consideration, what would you be doing? I asked because I knew the impact the question had on my life. It landed me in Brazil and Peru. I knew many people had a very general idea of what they wanted to do with their business and even their life. And I wanted to invest in them now I had money. I wanted to make sure I wasn't just throwing it away. I even asked, what if by answering this question you would receive $1,000 or $2,000? Some people didn't take it seriously, but one young man did. His answer was so specific and detailed. When he responded, I told him I was sending him 1500 for his project. He wanted to help people improve their health through teaching Zumba. He needed space and money to pay for it. He knew how much he was going to charge for the classes. Well, we had space. It turns out he was able to pay the lady I partnered with to host his empowerment events. His preparedness not only benefited her, but he was able to act right away on a portion of his vision. I knew how long and hard I had struggled to find my way, and if I could make it better for someone, I really wanted to do that. I turned around and gave him another 1,000, simply for him to do whatever he wanted or needed to do with it. Instinctively, I knew there were others like me who had money and were looking for a good place or person to invest in. So we're gonna stop there. And this is my book, Soul Mark for Life. It's available on Amazon.com. It's a riveting account, a real-time connection with the ancestral realm. And um, you can all it's available on Amazon for $25. You can pre-order through me for $20. My cash app is dollar sign Destiny Embraced, DESTINYEMBRACED, Destiny Embraced. And so if you would like to order um, a copy of Soul Mark for Life, you can get it from me, or you can go on Amazon.com and you can purchase your own copy. Thank you so much. Take care.